Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my crypto morning coffee, basically, because that's Ecomi, locked and loaded, ready to go, and we have some very interesting news here. We are going to talk about Bitcoin, we are going to talk about Ecomi and Veve, obviously, and is the breakout for Bitcoin imminent? I think so, because some of these news that should have brought Bitcoin back down didn't, and it just needs another thing to get Bitcoin beyond that overhead resistance. But all of that, obviously, after the intro. So, good morning, everyone. Let's do some housekeeping. All of what I say here in these live streams, in my videos, is obviously not financial advice. You do your own research before you ape full degen into Bitcoin, Ecomi, and what other crypto we are talking about. Please, all of you that are already here, a couple of you, smash up the like button for this live stream to go out to as many people as possible. I really would appreciate that, and also subscribe to my channel, tap the little bell to always get notified whenever these streams start, and check out the rest of my channel because I have uploaded a video just yesterday about Ecomi. So let's jump right in with the overall news. Hope you guys are doing well on this Monday morning. But this one was the big one on the weekend. I have not made a live stream on the weekend. Coinbase will be surveillance partner for Fidelity. Other Bitcoin ETFs refiled applications. And that is basically why the Bitcoin price is also has held the level. Because right after the first ones got rejected because of the wording, the refilings have been already going on. And there is a little spider just climbing up to the camera. Maybe she makes it up to the lens so we see her. Anyways, I will continue, but be observing there. What has happened? So CBOE's BZX exchange named crypto exchange Coinbase as the market for its surveillance sharing agreement. So that is basically what all of these ETF needed to write into their application, that they have a surveillance sharing agreement when they refiled for the spot Bitcoin ETF. So for the ETFs that are actually, whenever a share is bought, are simultaneously purchasing the equivalent amount of that coin. So I think the big thing here is when. I don't know if it's a question of if. I think it's a question of when. When these Bitcoin ETFs, spot ETFs, are filed, this just opens the gates for more people to accumulate Bitcoin that had no exposure before. Also because probably after the pure spot Bitcoin ETFs, probably there will be ETFs that are mixed, so that you are buying a fraction of your share, will always buy Bitcoin, even though you are like, it's like 1% of the ETF. But there will be other ETFs where just a regular investor that doesn't even know about Bitcoin buys Bitcoin in those ETFs. I think that will come too. Fidelity, Wisdom Tree, VanEck, ARK Invest, Galaxy, Vesco, and BlackRock all filed for spot Bitcoin ETFs, and these are trillions of assets under management. BlackRock alone has, I think, 7 trillion under management. So that is a lot of potential money for Bitcoin ETFs. They were hoping to succeed at launching a product. And the US SEC has rejected those for years already. While BlackRock filed with NASDAQ, the other companies are working with CBOE. And on Friday, the SEC told both NASDAQ and CBOE that their applications were inadequate because they didn't name the market that the fund sponsors are working with. And their surveillance sharing agreements, according to the Wall Street Journal. And now the refiled CBOE application says Coinbase platform represents a substantial portion of US-based and USD-denominated Bitcoin trading. And that is really fucked up if you think about it, because the SEC has just sued Coinbase for selling unregistered securities in the US together with Binance, right? And then Coinbase has also sued the SEC for bad faith practices. So they are, and now all of these, or many of these companies that are filing for spot ETF are naming Coinbase as the marketplace to go, or where they're going to execute, and for surveillance sharing also. And the SEC cannot really like that. So I don't know if this is increasing the likelihood for the SEC to just decline all of them because it's Coinbase, or the likelihood for Coinbase to win their lawsuits with the SEC because they are named by all of these big partners. But that is basically what is happening right now. So all of these are still in play. One of them is Wisdom Tree. Just a quick quote here from Wisdom Tree, because they say, this is interesting: we've been able to successfully launch products in Europe. The firm's global chief of investment officer said that on CNBC. The European regulators have been more friendly, and they have been able to get comfortable with the mechanisms, the custodians, and how markets work. So they all are aware that we are basically here in Europe already a little bit a step forward in regulation. And the SEC rejected the previous application in 2021-22 from Wisdom Tree. So we are at the same spot again. And now the question is, will they be able to do it? Good morning, Energy. And also, I have not seen, but up there before the stream started, because we started a little bit later, Dr. Knut Betzold also here from Heidelberg, and Energy is bringing the coffee and the red circle just like that to the stream. Okay, but that is Wisdom Tree, not going too deep into that. Now, this one was interesting in my opinion, because simultaneously with all of these filings, actually, and after our second big wave of Bitcoin pump, we have the exchange whale ratio dropping to a new big low. And I don't know if I can increase that a little bit for you guys. I don't know if that really works, because I cannot open it up here. Maybe there is a tweet from this in the article. No, there isn't. So I hope you can see this, but the yellow line here in the box, they are, and good morning, Omicron. Welcome to the stream. The yellow line in the box is basically how much, or the ratio in which whales are depositing funds to the exchanges, so getting ready to dump. And that is now has sharply dropped. So at the moment, even though we are at 31k more or less in this flag, whales don't go and deposit stuff on the exchanges to dump. So that is obviously, this is of the 26th of June, so this is one week behind more or less. But we don't have much deposits at that point with those high levels. In fact, it seems more that they are buying, that the whales are buying. And we saw that before, that MicroStrategy was also buying. So yeah, by the way, Dr. Knut Betzold said, I have BTC now, your fault. If that's my fault, then thank you. But other than that, always keep in mind your own decisions. But talking about having BTC, this is a good overview of all, or of many, that's not even all, yeah, maybe that's all because ARK Invest is also here. So these are all exchanges, who the issuer is in terms of ticker, who the company behind it is, when they have been filed, when they have been acknowledged or declined, what the replication strategy is, and the status. And the only approved ones are the Bitcoin futures ETFs that are future and derivative based. So these were approved. But we see here, if one of these gets approved and the other ones in following, we also see which exchange is used here, CBOE with Coinbase. So you see, we have the Vanek Bitcoin Trust, the Wisdom Tree Bitcoin Trust, the Krypton Bitcoin ETF, Valkyrie Bitcoin Fund, First Trust Skybridge, and so on. So First Trust and Skybridge, Fidelity, Stone Ridge NYDIG, 21 shares. Toycrium and Hashdex is the Bitcoin futures. Global X, Valkyrie Investments has approved Bitcoin futures. One River, Bitwise, Grayscale, Wisdom Tree, ARK Invest, Vanek again, ARK Invest, BlackRock, Bitwise, Wisdom Tree, Evesco, and Galaxy, Valkyrie Investments, Fidelity, all of them have now refiled. So here you see denied. But all of these here below, they have refiled now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all Bitcoin, 7 refilings of the big ones with different exchanges named in their for surveillance sharing agreement, right? CBOE, Nasdaq, NYSE, and so on. So all of them are for final date, and see I think the final date until the SEC has to respond, apparently. So SEC next date is the 13th of August. 13th, 19th, 20, 24, 29, 24 and 19th. All of them August, 1 in September, right? So that's when the SEC is going to go in the next round of either approving or denying. And I think the final decision needs to be made only in 24. So, you cannot see the final decision date, but there we go. So that means the final one, let's not talk about it too much, but that means that maybe until August we will not have an answer to the refilings. So until then, something else could happen to break Bitcoin higher. Let's look at some things here that we have from Twitter that I found interesting. So here, basically, why people stay poor. At 67,000, I got hundreds of messages from friends and family about Bitcoin. At 16,000, I got 0 messages. At 100,000, they will call again. And I think you, that you are very experienced and longer time in crypto, you can relate to that, right? No one is talking with you of your friends that have bought some NFTs or so. No one is talking anymore about that. They don't want to know about that. They are not back again. They didn't buy since the bull run bubble and so on. So very accurate here. Keep that in mind, that you guys have been sticking around. You are the few. Like, look at this. I will make a bold prediction here. We are in these crypto morning coffee setups right now, 10 people. By the way, we are 10 at the moment, so smash up the like button for that. We are the 10, the few, right? And yeah, there are the big streams like BitBoy Crypto and Cryptos Are Us, and I don't know who still managed to get hundreds or thousands in the live stream, right? But overall, these numbers have declined, and many people have dropped out for now out of crypto, and they will be back in the next bull run. But you guys have been sticking around. So the bold prediction here is that once we are rallying into price territories closer to the last all-time high, these people will be back. And by the way, welcome NFT Hero. These people will be back, and then we will not have 10 or 20 or whatever in these streams. We will have hundreds of people in these streams. I bet. So obviously that's good for me, but it also shows you how uncommon it is actually that you are still in this space. Here we see a comparison of 2016 heading into Bullrun and now heading into Bullrun, and it looks a little bit similar, right? We are coming out of a bear market trough that looks almost, it looks very similar, and we have double tested and coming up for another test right now. Also looks very similar, and according to that, we should be breaking above and then retesting and then having some sideways action and then going parabolic. Let's see if it happens like this. The more frequently a resistance is tested or poked, the weaker it becomes. The day will come when all $31,000 sell orders have been filled, and they are up for a while already, these sell orders, and they will be filled sooner or later, and then we will have our breakout. The next one is this Renko chart, very interesting one as well in my opinion. On Renko chart, it seems to repeat the moves in 2019, 2021 with the same projection. BTC will hit 80K in the end of 2023. That is what the projection of this specific chart says. I mean, you see here our last bull run top, right? Then the false top. And now, heading into the bottom. So the projection of this chart would say, but it's just a projectional copy, that we should be already in the end of this year at 80,000. So I don't know if this will really happen. Omicron says these markets are so crazy. Fundamentally, the Canadian and US interest rates are still going up. Housing costs and cost of living is so high. Yeah, that's true. And the weird thing is that we are still coming up with Bitcoin already, right? So I think also, Jerome Powell has said that there will be new rate hikes, but by now these new rate hikes are priced in, because he said there will be at least 2 more rate hikes, and they are back to back. They're going to be, they're potentially even coming back to back. So we will see if these rate hikes are coming. But until then, the sky is open for a Bitcoin breakout, just from a technical standpoint. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dave Boy says Vivi needs to change who controls their Twitter account. We are going to talk about this in a little bit when we're done with the chart stuff. Probably like in around 10 to 12 minutes we should be done. Then we are going to talk about this. But this one was just another classic Vivi. So, and by the way, this is something that maybe relates already to Vivi, so keep that in mind. I will bring this up and I will make another video about this also, because I think more people need to know about this. So this is the full chart of Bored Ape Yacht Club total market cap. And Bored Ape Yacht Club's NFTs are the whole collection is now down over 90% from a $600,000 wick high that we had seen. So the whole thing, like in the Vivi bubble of going crazy about how Vivi is the only project that is going down and down and down, just let's put this into perspective, because I think if you put the Vivi NFTs into a chart, they more or less look like this, right? So I think people should see that it's just not the time of NFTs. But next video, I will put all of this again together, and I will bring this to you in a more compressed form. So, and then here's this is also funny. Boomer NFTs are also experiencing a bear market. Rolex and Patek price nears 2-year low. So a luxury watch index at the 2-year lows since peaking when crypto did in 2022. So it all comes down to liquidity, and that is, I'm just showing this to you. So look at this. Look at Bored Ape Yacht Club. Look at Rolex and Patek. I mean, does it look familiar? Does it look similar? Yes, kind of. It didn't have that sharp decline here, but it has the same shape and form. So it was funny to see these back to back here, these two charts, and also named Boomer NFTs. Yeah, it's astonishing, and this is why we are looking here at this channel at the situation of liquidity, right? So that is the most important thing. Then also, this is a very, very bold Moonboy chart, but I still wanted to show it to you. Hello, Caro. Caro is joining right when we are going to go into the most degenerate, most Moonboy chart. That's perfect. So this guy here is Mustache is saying bullish megaphone pattern still intact, trend line holds well, upper trend line target 85,000, actually a target that from the previous charts was reflected in many of the other charts, right? So we have here our higher highs, inflation based, but still for chart for TA shouldn't matter, and we have our 3 touches. And now 2 more touches on the downside. So technically, if this was a megaphone pattern that includes the last bull run, then the breakout target should be somewhere around 85,000, the breakout target, which could line up with our previous target here, also for December in this Renko chart of 80 something thousand, right? So if that was a megaphone pattern with this target, then yes. Here for the degen stuff, it's going up slowly. Yeah. Energy says, did I hear Vivi? Let me check my portfolio. It's going up slowly. Here's the thing. I want to say this before we enter the Vivi stuff. Your Vivi portfolio is going up slowly because cash out is disabled and people buy stuff instead of cashing out. Let's check the markets. So in the top 100, we are largely green now. Bitcoin dominance has taken a breather. So big ones are Flow, Maker, still Bitcoin Cash, Injective Protocol, FTX token. I cannot even recommend to look at FTX token because I think this is just another round of screwing people over. Compound, we see a lot of coins that are very old already that have their rally time now, but also we see the graph and Filecoin there going a little bit. So altcoins overall green. On the day we see what is this? BitDAO, Flow, Maker, Compound, again everything is green. And let's look also at the top 200. Where is Ecomi? We are on the daily. Ecomi should be still slightly very tiny green bubble, but there you are. 2.7% up on the day, Ecomi. And if we go, but on the weekly, we see OMI minus 1.1%, so in the red. And we see the market is mixed here, but on the monthly though, markets of altcoins are still red, so we have not retaken the previous highs yet, but we are going to see that there's actually an interesting turn in this whole thing. So yeah, let's look at Bitcoin here a little bit. Let's refresh so that we have the full picture. So we had drawn in this little wedge. You could argue that we have broken out 2 times. I don't know if this is still relevant or if this is something else. But if we have broken out, failed to retest, because this was when the ETF got declined. This is just another whipsaw pattern, right? Massive market manipulation. You see the sell volume into buying again. Basically here a lot of longs got wrecked, leveraged longs, and then we have seen the other one, but always at least this upper trend line here somewhat held. and we are not so sure about this one, but if you want to call it a retest, then yes, it's successful. Maybe on the daily it's a little bit clearer, because here we see, yeah, that we just broke out of this, if we want to see it. And that's also why I don't like too much the 4 hourly, because you see too much manipulation in it. But the overall, the broader picture is intact. And if you see how we are actually hammering now this upper resistance there, this overhead resistance, we have a touch, a slice through, another touch, another slice through, another test. So we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive days of trying to get up over this resistance line. So we see this resistance also here, one more. So this overhead resistance is now so weak because all of these sell orders are getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And we might expect with the next good news, where whatever it is. So we have here on the 5th of July, we have the FOMC minutes coming out, and that could be actually giving the next positive news, who knows, to get us up here. And so we see here always down below what is coming next. So today is coming ISM manufacturing PMI. I don't think anyone that goes into Bitcoin cares much about those numbers, but overall we just need one little good news, and we will have ourselves the breakout and the retest, and then we see if we can launch the rocket directly to our target of, where's our target? There we go. Our target of 27,500. There it is. So you see it, which is first of all a conservative measured move on the cup and handle, but then also which would be this high, somewhere around this high, to work on that resistance again. And maybe we're failing to break that one. But that is where I expect the price to go if we break out here. So we want to leave this intact here. Also DXY, this is interesting. We should be continuing to observe this one. Not going to want this on the 4 hourly. So look at this on the daily. We had drawn in this smaller resistance line here on the DXY when this was still up, right? So this is nothing new here. And now we see that we have been coming up and been rejected by this. So that is good news, because that also means that we still have power in this downtrend, still going lower here, right? So that is very good. So for all of you who don't know, the DXY is the dollar value against other currencies in the world, against a basket of other currencies. And this dollar value, if it declines, it means that people are moving out of the dollar. And whenever it declines, most of the times whenever it declines, it results in risk on assets, tech stocks, and Bitcoin going up. So that is what we are expecting if it declines from here, which it is at least looking like. At the moment, we are still a little bit green. We have more or less, this is our sideways movement right now in this flag of Bitcoin. Actually very good, because it has been coming up, but Bitcoin only moved sideways. So if we collapse here, we can have our massive pump. If we do something like this, we can have our massive pump in Bitcoin. So yeah, we are going to keep track of that one as well. A quick look at Bitcoin dominance. It's why altcoins are green now. We have a slight dip in Bitcoin dominance. Once again, I want to see this more on the daily chart. So here we go. Overall, Bitcoin dominance trend is not even close to be broken. In fact, we have this upper trend line of Bitcoin dominance, and Bitcoin dominance, in my opinion, it sometimes does these little collapses where profits from Bitcoin at the moment taken at 31K at this very line are flowing into some altcoins. We see that profits are flowing into FTX, profits are flowing into Bitcoin Cash, into injective protocol, into whatever we have seen in the green bubbles here, right? So they are flowing into some top 100 coins, Maker, Flow, and so on. So a lot of coins, and that is where Bitcoin might be coming down in dominance. We see some altcoins rally a little bit more, but overall I think Bitcoin dominance will continue to go up until or into the halving at least, and then from the halving even more. So we have our all-time high of Bitcoin dominance at 52 percent at the moment. I expect it to go higher, but we will see. If we lose that trend line, we get a massive altcoin season. Thank you so much, Omicron, for the $5 Canadian. Really appreciate that donation. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting me here. Really appreciate that. And I enjoy these streams with you guys. Having my coffee with you guys here. So yeah, I'm stoked. I'm stoked that we can be in this absolute, like in these lows with low attention of the market, and we are still here, like the inner circle. Energy here, Caro here, Omicron, NFT Hero, Dave Boy, and some others, Dr. Knut. So frequent warriors, also Smarty Pants. I don't know if he's listening also, but frequently here. So we have the people that are always showing up here. We'll never forget, even though we have hundreds of people later. That's just amazing. Moali says, you think people will move to Veve after their NFT bags start to fall? I don't know if actually if that's the reason for them to move to Veve. I think more it's that at the moment no one is moving even to crypto that is new. So there are no new users. I know that because larger channels like Altcoin Daily, like BitBoy, Cryptos Are Us, they are having zero. Also my channel, right? We have very little growth, and usually that's when no new people are coming into the space. That's only when the ones that are already in the space are sitting around. And I think what will happen is the moment that this Bitcoin dominance completely collapses, somewhere around beginning of 2025, so much money will flow into the Veve NFTs and into other NFTs as well that there will be a new craze. But there will be a little bit of a difference. People will search for quality NFTs, for high quality and licensed brands and collectibles, because many of the baby doge whale pigs, of the I don't know what birds, of the third scam of the next punk copy of the wood and forest apes, I don't know what, right? They will not come back. These NFTs will not come back. The times of the garbage NFTs is over. They will never come back. But obviously the bored apes, the mutant apes, the CryptoPunks, they will rally again because they are just established in space. They are building, they have big communities. And Veve also, because all of these people that got wrecked there, they will look for something that actually has quality. And I think that will bring people over. And also the ones that have been early in Bored Apes and so on, some of them might be already on the Veve app looking for some opportunities, and just buy some here and there in silence. I think that is what is really happening, right? And it will take time, because first of all, we need altcoins to pump and have their altcoin season, and only after that, all of these people that made money in altcoins will start looking for the next opportunity, which is in the past NFTs, right? So yeah, and that is what we see right now. Actually, it happened, guys. I didn't expect this to happen, but the entire altcoin space, so this is what you see here is the market cap of the entire altcoin space, and the entire altcoin space without Ethereum, by the way, without Bitcoin and Ethereum, had lost its level there. I just need to refresh quickly. It has lost its level here, and and now it has reclaimed that level. So the big question is, can it hold above? Will altcoins remain strong and just rally from a whole nother level, maybe move sideways here? Yeah, exactly. So as you say, Matic looks primed to move many of these altcoins, because we see here these are old ones, right? That have, so you see Atom and Matic did not really go hard. Aave already rallied in the week before, but there are many of these that are slightly red. Algorand, Gala, also Ethereum in itself. IMX is here with 7% render, is really taking a cooler. So if Bitcoin dominance starts to decline more and comes back to this trend line, we will see altcoins pump hard. And every altcoin except Omi, by the way. So let's look at Ecomi as well, because we have been down here in Ecomi. And you remember when I told you that I would be very, very careful here about these long wicks on the top, and that this could at best be a lower high there, and it was. And by the way, guys, don't get excited, or don't get too excited. In my opinion, this is not financial advice. If you need to buy, you buy, right? But I said before, I will be waiting patiently for lower prices on Ecomi. And look at this. All of these red candles, right? So these are 5 red candles. They have all been big green. I've observed this along the weekend and before. They have all been big in the green. And they closed the day as shooting. So we have shooting star, shooting star, shooting star, shooting star, hammer, right? But they all were in the green, and then they dropped into the red. So there is manipulation going on. They stand green and then someone dumps into them. And still, there is no volume. So for me, for Ecomi, still no turnaround and no news to back it up. Omicron says utility will be king for Veve and Omi. They need to make it happen. Certainly, certain collectibles giving you benefits, IRL, purchase, or events would be very bullish. I think, and actually, guys, that's already the case, because some people have been built utility around some of the collectibles. It's small utility, but for example, these days I discovered that that automated Veve feed. If you hold a secret rare Thor, the ultimate animated one, you actually get access to the premium Veve feed. So I sent them a message and, hey, I have this Thor, I'm sitting on it like since ever, and I got access to that premium Veve feed where more collectibles, sales and purchases are in, for holding a secret rare Thor. So if you have one and you're not in that, you actually, by holding that one, you can get access to that premium feed. That's pretty cool. And I intend to hodl anyway, so I enjoy this premium now because of that collectible. And I think that's how utility is really built in the early stages by communities. And then also I think in the end, the community will be the strongest power behind those NFTs, right? So there will be exclusive communities around the Miles Morales Spider-Man. And if they build something very strong, they will give so much utility to that. And that is also where also content creators, what I really want to have, and I hope this will be possible one day, is, for example, a Streamlabs plugin that I can just have my collection rolling somewhere down here in my screen, right? That I can connect my wallet, and I can have all my collectibles with the mint number below, that they are just spinning, and then like in 3D, just turning, and every 5 seconds there is a new collectible coming up, so that while I do the live streams, that I can have that I can show off my collectibles, right? That would be really cool. Or that when I do a giveaway, I can present that one here, right? And overall, there must be a giveaway feature. For example, they could also do it like, instead of a transfer, that I can put collectible that I want to use in a giveaway, in a specific giveaway wallet, and they just approve it after a while, like after a couple of days, so that I can transfer from there. Something like that. Something gated, right? They could do that, in my opinion. But yeah, let's talk about the update, and let's get back to the Davy Boy comment here that I mentioned before, because he says Veve needs to change who controls their Twitter account. Why settle for just an update was what they said. That is exactly what we got. They got the community excited for a nothing burger. Yeah, and that's basically that's the reality, right? Because Captain Vivi had asked before if we get a community update, and they said, why settle just for an update, right? And then instead of the video community update, we just got this one. So I made a video about the whole thing, a little bit more detailed, but let's just see what we have here. So app updates, we continue to iterate on web and mobile app experiences, make sure to have the latest version installed, blah, blah, blah. Payout, we appreciate your patience through the transition to our new payment provider as we work to restore full payout capabilities, international payout capabilities, making good progress here, and we'll share more updates available, blah, blah, blah. This is why your vaults are increasing, and I would say be very careful with buying at the moment, because you might be buying over the price that it will have when payout is coming back. So like if you buy for a short term, might be that you provide exit liquidity for other people, just saying. Obviously, if you are buying something like for 50 gems that was 40 gems before that payout closing, and you're expecting it in the next run to do a 20x, it doesn't matter, right? And you're holding for the long term, doesn't matter. Waitlist drops have been implemented now. I think it is Monday, actually. Monday is the first comic in waitlist. I might be participating just to try it out, how it works. And then give feedback later, either on Twitter or on YouTube. We are then getting the Hulk comic. Localization, we have already seen that. French, Spanish, Japanese, that is a good thing. I made a video about localization. If you haven't seen it, check that out. And basically in the article here, they are just saying that they are still working on interoperability and the OMI token, and that they have a dedicated blockchain team. Nothing new here. And looking ahead, enhancement of crafting mechanics for future crafting events is coming. Ongoing work on MCP, including spending points, is coming, as they say, but no timelines whatsoever. And giveaways and more giveaways and fidgetals. And I think the biggest announcement is here, obviously, that they're still partnered with Marvel on the San Diego Comic-Con, and we know that they have always brought a lot of specials there on the San Diego Comic-Con, and that a lot of the content creators from the US are also at San Diego Comic-Con. So that is that is coming up here. Last time San Diego Comic-Con was, I think, a pretty big success for the Veve team, at least in my opinion. There was a lot of stuff also with regards that Marvel team members called it NFTs and so on. There was this whole discussion about Veve NFTs not being real NFTs and so on. Caro says, whales are waiting for a pump. Then they'll sell because they want to get out. Yes, exactly. Get out of Veve, I think you mean, because not all of the whales want to get out of Veve, I think. There is way too much accumulation going on by top wallets, but maybe it is correct to say that some whales want to get out of Veve to appreciate other assets in the moment, because it will take more than your assets will be bound more than a year inside of Veve before it rallies up again. So I don't think that all of the whales really want to get out, but we will see. Is your Veve handle private? would like to follow. No, it's actually not. My Veve handle is basement jack. Actually, I'll put that. How can I? Yeah, it's like BASEMENT jack. So if you, I unfortunately when I joined Veve, I didn't know that I will have a channel that is called Patient Hodler. So and I didn't change the name. So that's a little bit weird for people to find me, but that's how you find me. Um, you can look also for. I think I have the Banshee comic uncommon, the lowest mint in the market listed, so I'm also there. Uh, yeah. Um, oh yeah, you mean Omi. Okay, so that's a whole nother story. You mean Omi. So yes, whales are waiting for each pump to just play the market here. They are waiting until it pumped up, and you see that the whales are just just putting another trigger for their bot to sell, even always lower. So the next candle here, even though it gets more green, it will never overshoot this one here, right? So what I think is that we are still in a lower high, and maybe still lower low trajectory if you take the wicks, right? So if you were to just look at the trajectory, somewhat it's somewhat like this, right? That's still the trend in which we are. Now, can this change? Yes, at some point it can. But honestly, nothing of what can bring a price really up is happening. So there's no reason for me to believe that we have a turnaround. We would need, just for me to say we have turned around from here, let's be generous and just say from here, to overshoot, we need at least a 15% pump, right? To go above the range again. That where I would say, yeah, that's a turnaround, and where I would say, yes, I might be accumulating. But I mean, look at this, guys. No one can tell me that this is not a downtrend, or that this is a reverse downtrend. If we come up here and form something like a U shape, then I will start, okay, like this, right? Then I would say, okay, Ecomi, the bottom is in. But until then, it can also look like this, right? Why not? Why couldn't it go to 0004, 0003, 0002 even? It can, and it can then form a bottom here and break out here, or have a spring moment, whoop, and come up here slowly, and then up here, something like that, right? It can. I don't see what I don't see is the scenario of the over leveraged here in the space, or which looks like this. I just don't see it. It might happen if they bring all of the news on some exchanges, but for me this is just a downtrend. So yeah, right, Caro. For Omi, what you're saying is absolutely true. But this is the longer term. Let's look at the weekly quickly, because the weekly gives us a little bit more insight into without so many candles, and you see the volume is still decreasing. So if you were to just look here down at the volume, that's the volume trend, right? Also, no sign of a reversal. As I said before, I thought that here at this point, when we only had this, that this might be a reversal, but it was only selling volume. What we need is something like this, but with green volume. So at the moment, this is still a downtrend, right? And also, yesterday, Crypto Rain posted this wedge on Twitter, but he posted it a little bit different. So just so you know that there are some other opinions. So he posted it actually something like this. And he says that this is a breakout. But if you take this wick here, so it all depends if you go on this wick, or if you ignore that wick and you go on the candle body here and you draw it on this wick, right? and you say this was a fake out. And that all makes the difference from a drawing standpoint, whether this is a breakout or not. And in my opinion, it's not. I just take the outer wicks here of everything, and then you get this, and then you get this wedge like this, right? So this is what I'm sticking with. I'll stick with this wedge, because I think it's more realistic, also with regards to the fundamental news that we have. That this is not a breakout, because if this wedge was to break out and we're just being a degen and we just say that okay, then and we just say that we break out somewhere here, then our target would be 0036 for the breakout. But I don't see a volume following up. The stochastic RSI is already heading in the weekly with this no movement. It's already out, right? It's already out here. It will have a couple of days, weeks, and then there will be turnaround. And that's always, look at this. Always when we had this, we shot up. Maybe we were going to test this upper boundary of the wedge, and then always, look at this, always when stochastic RSI reversed, we had a major sell-off. Look at this. Always when it reversed, we have a major sell-off in the weekly. So this is a sell-off that takes weeks. So it might be not as harsh. Maybe it's just trickling down, but this could be a lot of red candles again. This will come to an end one day, because even if OMI never gets utility in the bull run, it will still pump a little bit, never getting back to this if there's no utility, but it will still pump. So DCAing into it could still result in some profits, right? So in these terms, bringing down your average when it pumps like that, one day breaking out and going to 003, you just need to see if you're then in a profit. In case that Veve didn't bring any utility for the OMI token until middle of next year to end of next year, you can still take profits, right? So that is at least what I'm thinking of. So I would just still wait, observe for Ecomi. And if it goes lower, I might buy 1 or 2 million to bring my average significantly lower than now. And then I have the option to take profits in an altcoin season, even though if they never brought utility, right? Because we see dead coins are capable of pumping. Unless OMI Veve gets utility, I don't see it going up. I hold a decent bag, so not buying unless it goes lower. Also, where the heck has Reese gone? Yeah, I think Reese has been taken off a little bit of the radar to focus more on doing something for the Ecomi token than selling the Ecomi token into the pumps. I think that is where he has gone. Also, even if it is not true, yeah, even if it's not true, the rumor still stands. So they have taken him off the radar. And Reese has moved to Portugal, yes, but he's still, before that he was very present in AMAs and I don't know what. But yeah, so yeah, it's true. It's true that he moved to Portugal. We have seen him joining around the Ecomiverse a couple of weeks ago, talking a little bit about his move to Portugal. And by the way, Portugal is a very crypto-friendly country, so there might be a reason that he moved exactly there. Because I think, and also Dr. Profit lives in Portugal, by the way. So they can meet now and talk about the Ecomi token. Yeah, so that is that. What else? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. In case you have missed it, everyone talking about a huge announcement coming to Veve official at the end of June. Again, Pokemon speculation, which I will not follow up because here this says David, you on Instagram, probably nothing. And I would say, yeah, it's probably nothing. But still, I want to show it to you here. David, you on Instagram, posting him in front of a Mewtwo tank with a Veve t-shirt. So if you want to be a little bit degen right now, you will take this as an absolute confirmation. And then he also teases this. Look at this. Pikachus and Pokeballs and everything. Yeah, crazy, right? But that is what David Yu is posting at the moment on Instagram. So that's 2 to 3 days ago. So you see the Mewtwo. Oh man, Pokemon gives me so much nostalgic feelings. So I honestly, when that comes, I will put some serious money in, right? Because if that comes, I would put some serious money in. NFT Hero says, do you think they delayed the video update due to something big going to be announced in it? There's 2 reasons. Something big going to be announced soon, or they didn't have anything to announce and they tried to get around this update. Because if you think back in the last months, we didn't get a video update every month. In fact, there were, I think, 2 to 3 months without any serious updates, and I just don't know why they don't do it, because it's literally just sitting like me here and like arranging a call, like the live streams that Jordan does on his channel and so on. Sit together, talk, pass that video to someone to edit it. They don't even have to do it themselves. Just cut out everything relevant, get it back for a review. So overall work effort is like putting together the same content as for the Twitter update and just talking about it, right? So it's not that this takes hundreds of hours. Pokemon would kill our portfolios. I think in the short term, yes, but in the long term, obviously not, but because it would attract so many people that then also would buy other stuff on the app. That Pokemon actually would. I think Pokemon would. I would never get out Pokemon right now. So that's why I also think even if they have it planned, they wouldn't release it right now. I would do it in the midst of a complete degenerate bull run in the altcoin, so that when money flows to the Veve app, that you increase the money that flows to the Veve app. That's what I would do. And by the way, what's that? Oh yeah, a lot of people followed me on Veve. Thank you guys. Yeah, anyways, that's what I would do to raise. So that would be the Kickstarter to mass adoption. And right now, if you do it into when nobody cares, you just stick with the licenses that you have anyways, right? Crazy Dan says, it doesn't bother me that resold some tokens. It is not my concern what others do. Also, maybe he needed some cash to buy something like a house in Portugal or whatever. Yeah, the problem with this is if you do it in a way where like you get people excited on Twitter and on the other hand you sell, that's not so good, because you don't want to build your house on artificially pumping. If you're just selling along the way, just like a DCA sellout, no matter what the prices are, yeah, I don't know. But it's one thing if whoever backhaul, if you sell, for example, and another thing if the person that's responsible for building utility for the OMI token is selling, right? And if you have announced as a team at 005 that you're going to bring big things and 45 exchanges by the end of the year and yada yada, and you're pulling something like that, that's pretty bad, right? So yeah, I think that that should not happen. The one person from the Veve team that should sell the least is Reese, because he's the Ecomi guy. So yeah, he was pumping and dumping, and I think that's a really bad look. And also, many people also like me, I thought at 005 that we are going to get those exchanges and we get more pumps, right? So these are people and now these people are like that's a tenth of that price, and that's not even the people that bought at 1.3 cents or 0.008 or something like that, right? So many people from that have been following Veve for years are down bad, really bad, right? And he has the tokens from another time, but it's already we're more than an hour. That's the longest crypto morning coffee stream since a while. So I thank you all for joining here. Unfortunately, I have to go, but I really enjoy these conversations with you guys. And we'll be back here tomorrow. Smash up the like button right now, please, before you go. That would be really amazing. Thank you, Omicron, for the donation. Thank you all for discussing strongly with me here. There's more videos, more content coming out very soon. I see you tomorrow in Crypto Morning Coffee. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I see you tomorrow at Crypto Morning Coffee. Bye.